Hey everybody, looks like we are ready for phase 2 of territory battles. Now, I don't know if we're going to do all 6 days just because after like day 3, a lot of younger guilds, the day depends on where your guild is at and what planets they're preloading and what planets they're not preloading. Because most guilds are able to preload or finish phase 1 and be doing all 3 of the phase 2 planets, it makes sense to do today. We might do tomorrow just because my guild is in that position now as well, where it's all consistently day 3 planets. Just as a reminder, we do have our territory battles library. I know you can't see the side panel. Shout out to Ding Dong, who is asking in our little help center about the Geonosis mission. But you'll see we have the planets all set up with different strategies based on whatever videos we've either found or, well, found is not a good word for it, submitted, because everything here is submitted to us voluntarily. From myself, from other people in the community, from other content creators, to kind of have that resource for everybody. So with that said, let's close that down and get started. Hopefully my guild left me something to do. It looks like we are in good position. We're gonna probably want to start with Bracca, just because we're closer to the end and I don't want to risk it going to 3 stars. Once again, just like with day 1, those middle planets are all on the easier side, so we really want to commit our better teams to Geonosis and to Bracca, just so that we can make sure that we have everything, correct, and we can figure out Felucia on the back end. When we do this, I am going to skip the Jedi Knight Geonosis mission just for right now, because I do remod for that mission, so I always do the Geonosis mission last, just so I only have to deal with that one time. Right, we see Rebel Strafing Run is our platoon here. We are going to rely semi-heavily on Jedi. So the nice thing is that Coruscant's platoons are already finished and we already get these Jedi bonuses from the path. But Rebel Strafing Run, it's nothing to write home about. It has a long cooldown. If it gets used, it gets used. If it doesn't get used, then fine. Like I said yesterday, I generally don't wait for platoons, but for filming purposes here, I have to do this in the morning, and things just happen. This fleet mission on Bracca is actually one of the harder ones for TB. I lose it sometimes. It is a pain in the butt. I would not personally recommend with going in with anything other than profundity. This is probably, at least in my opinion, harder even than the one that is on Ring of Kafrene, which is kind of ridiculous since Ring of Kafrene is a day 5 planet. It's just that fun luck of the draw. Do you get assists? Do you not get assists? You never know. And right now, we're not getting as many as I definitely would like to. Let's go with this. If I'm not getting any Millennium of Falcon assists, it's really okay. Good, it's decommissioned. Perfect. Makes it a lot harder otherwise. And that's gonna take out Scythe. Which will make my life a lot easier. Stops target enemy. I think we're in good shape here, though, thankfully. At this point, I probably can auto, but again, I hate this mission so much, and I never want to risk putting myself in a position where I might have trouble. All right, with 4 ships, I think we're good. Here we go. Report you to the cops. To the cops. Okay, perfect. All right, we have 2 open missions and we have the Jedi mission. Now for the open mission, once again, I use the Gungans because the Gungans are able to do this really well if you have the Omicron. Leia for the other open mission is really solid because Leia can also auto that mission without too much trouble. Both of the Bracca missions can be fairly tough because there are constant revives going on. I know some people use gas lead with clones. I've done it in the past towards the beginning of TB and when it was first starting, and it can be effective if you play it on manual. But it is also a little bit on the harder side, and I've definitely lost it just as many times as I have won it. JMK is a really great one for this as well if you're not platooning Cat. I know that a lot of my guild relies on Cat for these missions, so I was looking for ways to make it so that I don't have to use her at all in most of my missions. Thankfully, more recently that has changed since you now need Cat at R9, so those people who kept her at R5 for whatever reason all have her at R9, and that makes, you know, these platoons a little bit easier for us. Generally, the Jedi, well, we'll save the Jedi special mission until we get there. You can see with Tarpos' Omicron constantly feeding stacks to the shield generator, it makes life a lot easier. The one thing to note here is that because of the probe droid that constantly spawns every time they take a turn, this battle can be long if, you know, targeting doesn't go your way. So generally, I will, if I'm not in a time crunch, just reset the taunts anytime it pops back up. If I'm at work and I'm hitting this mission, then I just let the cards fall where they do, because I don't care if the mission takes 10 minutes or 5 minutes or 3 minutes or whatever. And you're going to find, you know, when we do the same mission again with Leia, that we're going to get basically the same thing going on in regards to the targeting. Luckily, my attackers did most of the kills, so there was no revives, which made that go a lot faster than I am used to that going. There we go. What else works here? I see Kenobi wins. Crosshair mission. I see Leia Organic. Yeah, it looks like a lot of GLs get thrown at these missions, and then, like I said, those side battles on Felucia are where you're gonna kind of throw in anything else. And just like the Gungan mission, you know, if targeting ends up falling to the probe droid, we are going to just replace that to make our lives a little bit easier. Now you can make this go a lot faster by hard targeting the Purge Troopers, just because they will die faster than the Stormtroopers will die. And in the interest of making this go a little faster this morning, we will do that. Is it really necessary? I mean, I have an R9 or an R8 Leia squad. I've never lost this mission with the Leia squad on full auto, so no, it's not necessary. You saw that who almost died? My summoned unit. And, you know, the nice thing is, even if somebody who is useful gets to the point of dying, Leia's ult will end up bringing them back to life most of the time. Let's see if that's the case this morning. It doesn't even matter. We're doing some targeting, but nothing terrible. Once you start getting them down to low health and start killing them, a loss or two is not really important. There we go. Now, the Jedi mission is interesting. There are a couple ways to go about this. A lot of people manual this mission, and they will use JML lead for that and use their strong Jedi, so like JML, Jedi Knight Luke, Revan. I have always found that doing Jedi Knight Luke lead works better. I know that Ninth Sister can't be speed limited. Ooh, I'm glad I caught this. You see where it's, oh, because I'm on day one. I know that Ninth Sister can't be speed limited, but I've always found that Jedi Knight Luke lead has been a better overall lead for me. And using a really slow Jedi Knight Luke with JML, with my Kyle Katarn Omicron, with gas, and usually Hermit Yoda or Grandmaster Yoda because he's fast. However, last TB, I brought Hezra up to R6 just to try it, and, you know, just to see if it would make this autoable, and it worked. I think it'll work again. I honestly can't be 100% sure. So we're going to put that to the test today and see how that works. You know, the important thing is we really want to get Hezra out of exile as fast as possible so that he starts putting in work for the whole team. But we're going to let those waves kind of run on their own. And again, in the interest of time, we are just going to get the hard targets away from the Imperial probe droid, just to make our lives, you know, a little bit easier. Alright, looks like we are out of exile. Gonna make our lives a little easier. we will go for that Imperial. We will go for Ninth Sister first, just to get him out of her. Sorry, just to get her out of the way. There we go. Beautiful. Now, last time I ran this, I did run it as a full auto. I did not do any of the targeting that we're doing now. So I know that this works. And just for the pain in the ass that this used to be as a mission, that alone made bringing Hezra to R6 worth it for me. Beautiful. Excellent. It doesn't actually matter what planet I do next, but we'll go to Geonosis. Geonosis battles are a little bit more specific. You can see in our notes, this bottom one is the Acklay. Reek is over here on the left. The Nexu Mission is up here on the top, and then the Geos Mission is here. And we're not going to do the Geos Mission. Most people do not do the Geos Mission. I do have some insane friends who have brought all their Geos to R7, and they have beaten it. And we do have video evidence of that. Where is it? Here, you know, so you can see kind of targets and everything. For that mission. Each of these, though, kind of have better things that work best on each one of these nodes. Now, Inquisitor seems to work pretty well with Third Sister. There we go. Inquisitor seems to work really well with Third Sister on pretty much any of these three nodes. If you have good Night Sisters, they seem to work pretty well on any of these three nodes, but they do have to be good. I have had some scary moments, especially without platoons. Again, I generally do the planet without the platoons. It definitely is easier with this droid guy doing his armor shreds. I like to, in the past, I've always used Lord Vader on the Nexu, because if you throw Ninth Sister with him, you'll generally always win, even on auto. The Reek is typically C with Watt. That's always been the case. For most people, I have found that if and once you get Bane, you don't really need to throw Watt in there anymore. You know, you can save Watt for something else, or you can throw Watt into platoons if you need to. Let's see, we have seen Lord Vader work there, we've seen Kylo Ren work there, we've seen Third Sister work there. For the Accolade, in the past, I have always used Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, because Supreme Leader Kylo Ren here, you don't have to worry about his AI, right? Normally on auto, the AI for a First Order team sucks, but because it is a one-phase battle against one opponent, it'll get finished very quickly. We are going to do, I think I set it up as Captain Enoch here, because we want to try today the Young Lando mission. You can see that this morning I brought Young Lando up specifically for that mission. So we are going to keep SLKR away from this. So let's start with our Lord Vader. Up top, day 2, Lord Vader. You definitely want to have a secondary tank in here. I have tried this battle without a secondary tank, and it becomes a lot more iffy. And there definitely are some lose conditions. Again, especially talking about situations where you're using auto, which is almost always going to be our case. Ooh. Ooh, we don't like that. Wow, that was bad. Interesting. That does not happen a lot. Wow. Now, I saw that happen to me last time I did this mission. And I figured that it was because of the lack of a secondary tank. So I think what I'm gonna do next time, and we haven't tested this yet, but I do believe it will work, is maybe we will throw Enoch up here, because of the constant extra damage that will be occurring there, and we will bring LV down here. So let's actually, we're gonna change that in here. Rename and arrange. Let's change this to Acklay for the future, and let's do. I thought I had Enoch here. No, we're not using Enoch today. Why are we not using Enoch today? Well, we'll do that for Acklay. And why no Enoch? I want to use Enoch. You know what? Instead of using this for Acklay, because this is a super easy battle, we're gonna throw Enoch there, just to show it to you. Right. Now, somebody yesterday asked me why I use Dark Trooper instead of somebody that makes a little bit more sense. And I think I said it in yesterday's video, but I do want to clarify. I don't use my Imperial Remnant very often, and I picked Dark Trooper to go to high relics specifically so that I can use him in a regular Imperial Trooper squad. For things like if I have an iffy Jabba cleanup that needs to get done. So having him at R9 just really helps, or R8 really helps with that. Obviously, he's gonna die more often than not, and that's fine, because it's really those core three, Enoch, Night Trooper, and Death Trooper Peridia, who are going to give you the best bang for your buck there, or really be the vehicle that makes things work. And let's just throw, well, you know, because we're not using Inquisitors, let's actually take this DS Reekbane Watt, which everybody knows works already, and let's send the Inquisitors that way. Which is, again, a relatively easy battle. Will Grand Inquisitor work here? I'm gonna be honest, I've never tried it. I don't think so. I think having those early turns with Purge really definitely help get the job done here, and having that really solid tank. And then we have the Scythe mission, and I'm gonna be honest with you here. The Scythe mission sucks. It sucks. There is no good way to beat this mission. Even if we look here at the two strategies that we have found, Kazgul, one of the guys from Reddit, good friend of mine, he has found a way to do this with Executrix. Bit Dynasty submitted the Leviathan fleet mission here, and that fit fleet mission, you know, Sith Fighter, Fury class B-28. Both of them have about a 25 to 30% win rate. Neither of them are good. Generally, guilds that are at my level are doing this mission specifically because winning it even 20 to 30% of the time is going to give them the boost that they need in order to, you know, hit a perfect day 2. Now, I do not expect to win this at all. I have no expectation at all that I'm winning this. But because this is a video where we are specifically talking about all of day 2, we're gonna just try it and see what happens. I would definitely recommend, if you are going to do this, especially the Leviathan way, I would definitely recommend watching the Bit Dynasty video on it. He will talk in depth on what needs to happen. We've already lost. One of the win conditions here basically is that you do get the bombs to pop, and our ship didn't even get a turn. So we have no expectation of winning. We're just gonna play it out. This mission is insane. It just is. And, you know, I remember before Leviathan came out, like, being in a position where we're like, oh, like, when Leviathan gets here, we'll be able to do this mission. It'll be awesome. It'll help everybody out. And that was just a bullshit statement. P1 does not help there. People have asked me if Executor with P1 would work here. It doesn't, because you don't have Razor Crest. And I don't even think if you had Razor Crest it would work either. And now we get to Felucia, and Felucia is relatively easy for these 2 missions that are going to be the ones that most people are doing, right? For most people, you're going to have just the Jabba mission and this combat mission here. Some people are going to have the Hondo mission, which is typically very tough. We'll talk about how I generally do it. And then we're going to try the Young Lando mission today and see how that works. This Executor mission, super easy. We'll get back to that in a second. Profitable ventures, you gain profit. Great, wonderful. It's not going to do much for your battles at all. Once again, I never wait for platoons, except I happen to today, specifically for filming. Just like we did yesterday, I'm going to take Punishing One out. Just to show you that this can be done without it. I do find having a tank in the opening lineup, even with Punishing One, is just the better option of the 2 if you're autoing. And then for Felucia's Fleet CM, I've tried Leviathan, I've tried Profundity, I've tried Executor. All 3 of them work just fine on auto. I have tried some of the other ones. Negotiator can definitely do this battle. I have not had a lot of luck doing it on auto, though. You can see Executor makes short work of this. Oh no, I lost my tank. Not a big deal. Nice. we're able to get to it without having to go to ult. I always hate watching the ults just take way too long, as cool as they look sometimes. All right. And the Jabba mission, again, this one super easy. You can do this without his best team. I have videos of that on YouTube, just showing autos. But once again, it will make the mission go a lot longer. I filmed them pretty. I filmed them pretty much only to show that it could be done, but I would never recommend doing that. All right. The one thing that I don't like about the Jabba missions is that there is just so much bonus protection or protection up. It really doesn't, whatever you want to call it, which makes it go long no matter what. You know, they're some of the easiest missions in TB. The one on Tatooine literally can be done by Jabba solo. Well, not literally because you can't send Jabba in solo, but you could send in quite literally any 4 R7s with him, and because of the modifiers on Tatooine, you just delete the enemy team. We're getting there. I think we can. I think we can. I think we can. And with this battle, you know, after this battle, we'll talk about some of the other teams that you can use for that open CM. Once again, the middle battles are a little bit more forgiving than the left or the right hand battles. All of these thermals. Oh, thank you for taking somebody that was not at low health this time. That is super appreciated, Java. Where's my bib Fortuna? Windmill cookies. Please give me cheese. So what we need is copyright strikes because of O Fortuna. Okay, so the other open CM here, we are going to use, what do we want? We're going to use Night Sisters here. They work just really well on Felucia. Again, they work on Geonosis, but it can get a little bit hairy because each of the bosses can do quite a bit of damage. Captain Enoch works here if you have the Omicron. Admiral Trench works here. I have done it auto with Phoenix before, as long as you have Captain Rex. I would say it's about 90% reliable. I have seen losses occur. General Anakin, so Gas 501st works really well here. Obviously, any of your GLs, if you have any GLs left over, are going to work on this open CM. The Gungans are going to work on this open CM. CLX, it's like a protein supplement. CLS, I've seen some mixed things about whether it's going to work or not. Oh, I platooned Dengar, silly me. But let's do it. This one should be fast. Ugh. You can just see that as zombie dies over and over again, we're just going to build up these plague stacks, and those plague stacks are just going to decimate the enemy team. I love this team so much. I know I said it in the day one video, but they're just they're my MVPs of territory battles, and if I had unlimited resources to bring them all to R9 to do Vandor, I would, without a doubt, hands down, this would be the team that I bring to R9. But we don't live in unlimited resources land, where R9 materials grow on R9 trees. We get launched out of an R9 cannon. Get R9s. Ray also works really well here, but that's who I used to use in the old days, but you're going to want some strong damage, because if Hondo gets saved for last, Hondo goes completely berserk. And it doesn't matter for this team, they'll take him out anyway. But I have found that Ray can get locked into that battle. And it can be, tough to get out of that lock unless you have something like healing immunity. All right, so we're going to go to the Hondo mission. In the past, I've done this with JMK. And JMK on auto does it about 75% of the time. Pretty reliable if you do it on manual. We are going to do exactly what we did yesterday. We're going to go the Balin route. Let's get another mercenary in there. Who do we want? We could do Zam. We could do Django. Oh, Django might be a good option just because Django will revive. And we're going to exploit that Marok Omicron again. Marok. I don't know which one is correct. Oh, look at Hondo killing himself. I would say one thing you might want to consider is playing this on manual until Hondo captures and gets 10 stacks, just so that you don't have to worry about what just happened happening. But it shouldn't have too much effect on the run, hopefully. Yeah. As long as Balin survives, you are good. I might actually keep Django in here. Because of that revive, keeping him, as an extra target going forward. Let's actually do that. So, because what's gonna happen is I'm gonna film this, and I'm gonna forget. And if I forget, bad things happen. Let's rename this. Change to Enoch. And let's change these guys and throw in Django. Okay. Now, for this special mission, I today really wanted to try using a full Inquisitor squad. And I was talking to a guildmate yesterday, and I asked him to try the Balin thing here with Marok. And it did not work. It killed the first wave very quickly. The second wave, Iden just goes nuts. But what I did notice was that Balin and Marok did survive the opening AoE. And I thought that maybe Third Sister, because of her leadership, and because all of the Inquisitors get the true damage that Marok does, you notice I've said his name like 8 different times today, that might be a viable option here. And you saw that we just took Inquisitors out of the rotation on Geonosis. But we're not going to try that today because it'd be really, really embarrassing if I lost. What we are going to do is the SLKR method, and I want to give a shout out here to Bit Dynasty because this is his method, which essentially is to auto basic and to get SLKR to the point where he just has he and Kylo just have bajillions of HP, right? So we are gonna hit this guy. We're gonna wait for Hux to get his turn. We're gonna hit this guy. We're gonna go to Stormtrooper, and we're gonna just auto basic on Stormtrooper so that we are constantly losing TM. And as we constantly lose TM, we are going to also be gaining maximum health. So that's our goal here. This can take a little bit of time to get done, right? But it is the most reliable way, right? We want to wait until he gets to the point, oh, stop hitting other people. We want him to get to the point where we have maximum health, right? And this, as fun as it is to watch in a video of me doing this over and over and over again, I know it's not the most exciting thing, but it is important. On a normal day, I would probably just run this on auto basic and walk away from my phone personally. The nice thing is that SLKR is also building stacks at the same time, so it'll make this first wave go a little bit on the faster side. Oh, it looks like we've hit maximum, I believe. Let's just confirm on our next heal. Yeah, so we have hit maximum. We can just full auto at this point. And you can see, you know, Kylo's, it's just, he's not gonna die. He's got everything. Super exciting to watch. These are those fun battles, right, where it's just over and over and over again the same thing. But you can see that at least in this phase, we are relatively safe. Okay. Let's move into phase 2. Get AoE'd. Perfect. We are going to want to build some stacks here. We could probably let this run on auto, but if we do let it run on auto, SLKR has a nasty habit of not building stacks on his own. Okay. Go into auto for that. And Sith Trooper is putting in the work with crits just to, you know, make sure that I will always have ult available to me. Let's stun Iden again. I think once I get, let's say, one more stack in, we can probably run this on auto without too much fear. Alright, so we're going to throw that on auto now. We should be good because SLKR will be able to build his damage up at this point. Very super exciting. We'll have to thank Bit for this later. You know, it's not an auto, but it is I think it's close enough being able to do this, you know, mostly on auto. And next TB we will try the Inquisitors and we'll see if that will work. Come on, there we go. Beautiful. I don't think a monkey could lose this at this point. Just, you know, wish that we didn't have so much bonus protection to push through. Imagine if we did this part on manual, stunning Iden would help, but you know, that's not how we do things here. Okay. Now, so we've done pretty much everything except for the Bracca special mission at this point, but I am going to need to remod for that. Just the one thing I need to confirm, because I always hate when this happens before we do it, is make sure that I have enough mod slots, manage mods, 460. We want to make sure that we don't get to a point where we're maxed on mods. That can be a little bit scary, because then you have to play the guess and check game. So as exciting as this is right now, no speed cell brings us down to 439. Okay, we might as well run through this entire thing. One speed roll. Wow, not a lot of one speed rolls. Low speed rolls. We should be good here. So let's pop this in. I am going to stall while I go back over to Hot Utils and I load the account back up there. I know a lot of people do have trouble with the Zeffo mission. I will say that it is on the harder side comparative to the Crate Mandalore mission. Generally, guilds who are doing Zeffo are gonna want like 45 to 50 people in their guild who are Zeffo ready, so that they, you know, can deal with there being losses. When it comes to Mandalore, you can usually do it with like 35 people being ready. Oh, come on, Hot Utils. Applying loadout. Good. All right. Loaded. Perfect. Reload. Let's get back in this game. there are a few strategies here. I know there's a turtle strategy that's been going around more recently. I modded mine a year and a half ago. I wouldn't particularly say you should follow my modding advice on this one, because it is not where everybody else would go. I didn't particularly look for the lowest speed possible or lowest health possible. But I did, kind of try where I could. Obviously, for Jedi Cal here, I didn't, care about that. You want that low health because your damage, the probe droid damage is going to kind of scale based on that. So we're going to kind of just hope for the best. I will say, obviously, the lead Omicron is useless here. Is it Whirlwind Slam? The Whirlwind Slam one is very helpful. I do recommend it. It makes life a lot easier. Okay, we are gonna start with an armor shred. We don't need to heal just yet. All these stupid bonus turns and bonus protection. Good. We're stacking all of our damage on this second guy here because our first friend is going to be the one that we just murder with Windmill Slam, or whatever that move is called. Impetuous Assault. I generally just stack armor shreds to finish the battle. And, we're just going to hope for not a ton of bonus turns coming through, because that is really what sends this into... Oh, fuck, I already screwed it up. We should be able to recover. So... basically, I used the armor shred twice in a row, which means I only get 5 stacks instead of the 10, which means I am going to need an extra turn to do this whole thing. We are going to risk this. Okay, we should be okay, I think. There we go. And I mean, enough turns have passed. That should... oh, got him close. There we go. Not the cleanest win in the world because of that misstep early on. But overall, not a bad run. I will reiterate, I'm not super happy about this loss here with Lord Vader. I did lose. Again, I lost last time because I did not use Ninth Sister there. And that was the first time I've ever lost this particular battle on auto. So we threw Ninth Sister back in and it didn't seem to work. So we are going to make that shift and we're going to put Lord Vader down on Accolade where it is easier. And we will throw Enoch here on the Geonosis and we're going to see how they do next time. Inquisitors, again, work on pretty much any of these 3 nodes. So if you really want to, you can throw the Inquisitors here, again, as long as you have Third Sister. I do not like SLKR on this node because of the geos and how they work, and they just chip away at him. It works on manual if you know how to play the mission. I prefer to do things on auto, and obviously we're now using SLKR here just so that we can beat Fat Phil on waves and tell him that we are the better TB player. Hopefully you guys found this stuff to be helpful today. Let me know on Discord what you thought, and if you have any ideas yourself. And you know, I like to look into and theory craft when it comes to what will best serve territory battles. With all that said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and peace out.